the grassroots details. It talks about you pick up any institution and you look into the scope 1, the direct, the more complicated scope 3 and less complicated scope 2, but it makes us able to analyze the actions of a particular organization. And in the Indian context, of course, the guidelines of SEBI do recommend it, but we still don't have a compelling norm to go for it, a legal necessity, which may come because India has agreed that it will be net zero by 2070. It has put a technical committee, and there is a lot of talk and action about net zero. And it is gaining a lot of momentum because of the renewed emphasis on green hydrogen. India had announced its solar mission in 2010 to quantum jumps of 100 gigawatt of solar and then 175 gigawatt of renewable. And now, India has announced about 500 gigawatt non-fossil fuel. Given this background, it is very critical that all countries, including India, they develop a workforce now who can be called, the net zero army. Like when India brought in the solar mission in 2015, when the Part 2 came, we trained 57,000 skilled workers called the Friends of the Sun. They were essentially field-level engineers. They were trained for a 6-month course, but they helped the industry to spread solar. And now, when we are talking about net zero, we are taking, we are moving both sides. We are moving deeper, vertically, and we are moving far and wide, horizontally. Because, when we talk about net zero, we talk about not only energy, which of course plays around 73% of the critical role, but we are also talking about agriculture. We are talking about forestry. We are talking about land use. We are talking about waste management. And of course, we are talking about industry, wherever, GHGs or greenhouse gas emissions are coming. So energy use in industry, transportation, and energy use in buildings, for example. So if we look at the scope of net zero, it is much broader, much wider than the scope of solar. And so the solar friends that India trained 57,000 people, we need maybe 570,000 people in India who should be trained in all these areas where they could analyze, stress, work, educate, and manage the net zero concerns. For example, agriculture. How do we identify, to become net zero by 2070 in India? What does it mean? What changes we need in agriculture? What changes we need in forestry and land use? What changes we need in the waste sector? And what changes we need in industry, apart from pushing, green hydrogen or green ammonia as a, storage or a energy medium. So if we look at the sector, specific requirements, both in terms of institutional arrangements, new technologies, and the manpower, a lot has to be really done. And it opens a lot of scope. It opens up opportunities for investment, for deployment of new technologies, for manpower training. And it's a serious responsibility for all countries, including India, where to have a net zero economy. We have to move in those fronts for bringing change in land, labor, capital, and management. I'm not going to the traditional things that, we need trillions of dollars of investment to become net zero. But ultimately, it's inevitable that we bring in technology, we bring in finance, we bring in renewed manpower, restructured manpower, so that we realize net zero, not only in the narrowest sense that we neutralize or decarbonize the carbon impact of human beings currently, but we go back right up to the pre-industrial time where the carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere was 225 or 245 ppm. Thank you, Manoj, for having given me this opportunity. I'm so happy to meet